fate decided.
Craving something scary.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Jake, what is happening on this Friday, my friend?
Well, you know, we're chilling. We don't have the other two collective members, but you know what? That's okay. We're gonna have a fun little Jake and Craven stream today.
Heck yeah, we are, man. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, as you guys can all see, we're only half of the collective, but you know what? We're going to bring it twice as hard, so you're going to still feel it. And yeah, Fate might be able to join us tonight, and Knight might be able to join us as well in a little bit. You just never know. But we can promise you one thing. You got the two of us for the next hour and so many minutes with you, whatever that comes out to be. And we got lots to talk about.
Yes,
we
we do. Oh my God. Scream, 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 baby. So much stuff keeps coming out about this film, and I'm very excited to talk about it with you, man.
I am too, man. And, you know, there's a lot of things we could talk about and get into. And I just see here real quick in the chat a real blanket hello to every single one of you. We love you guys. Thank you for being here today. And I want to real quickly just highlight one person, my buddy Chris from Discover Montreal. You know, Chris, man, I tell you, I just got to say a personal thanks. And Chris and I chat regularly. We message each other regularly. He's been on my channel like twice now. And I'm going to have him on again probably next week or the week after, Chris. Filming's going to wrap in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So anyway, he has really been an amazing friend and just a supplier of amazingness all through the shooting. And it's still going on. They're not done yet. But he has been a source for a lot of us, really, that have been able to share wonderful pictures and stories. And so, Chris, I want to say thank you, because we're going to be showing some images here tonight that I was made aware of. Now, you know, just so that, you know, I know Chris would always want us to be on the up and up, as we always are. Not all of these images were taken by him, and he would never claim that. But he is the one, I can say, who alerted me to a lot of these things. And so I can say that, you know, with complete conviction. So we're going to show some. So I'm glad you're here, Chris, because he's been hitting my inbox a lot today, and I love it, and I thank you for it. And Jake, I just found out, he got the jump on some of the things we're going to talk about here. I hadn't even got a video out on these things, most of this stuff we're going to talk about yet, but I'm going to probably do it tonight. So Jake, let's quit him hawing around, man. Let's just get at it, all right? So we have finally got confirmation that what we predicted was going to happen in February, and since when you and I were together on your channel, and I brought you the College Theory of McGill. Remember this? Their production offices, that all happened live on your channel. It was a mind-blowing kind of moment, connecting the dots. I remember I called Jake. I said, Jake, they rented out offices across the street from the university. And it was the whole thing. Finally, my friend, we got confirmation. Why don't you tell us about that, and I'll chime in with you.
Hell yeah, man. So we basically just got confirmation that, yes, we are going to be on a university, but there's been this question as to, like, what is the university? Is this a brand new college? We had the confirmation of, like, oh, we're in New York now, so it's got to be a new college. Can't be Windsor College all over again, just like Scream 2. It's going to be called Blackmore University, which I think is really interesting, just because of the name Blackmore, where it first originates through, like, all the new Scream stuff with Radio Silence, all the way back to the original false script for Scream 5 when they were referring to Billy Loomis. Instead, they referred to him as John Blackmore, just to kind of like cover it up so that people didn't know the spoilers about Sam and all that beforehand. So, like, because, you know, they tested out more actresses than just Melissa Barrera. So they had to have other people say the line like, oh, my dad is John Blackmore. But obviously that's nonsense. Now we have confirmation that the university in this film is going to be called Blackmore University. What does that mean? Because it's kind of synonymous with Billy Loomis. This is something I talked about in my video I literally just posted. And and another thing, and one more thing, and Craven, beach balling it to you. But with this right here, if you look really closely, this is one of those things that like a college campus with like the touch screens where it's like if you need help or security, you can like type in something and call 911 if you don't have your phone. So are they going to utilize this? Just like how they utilized technology in Scream 5, are they going to be doing that again here?
Ooh, maybe if there was I don't think there's going to be a lot of shots, but if there's an exterior chase scene,
Yeah.
could you imagine like Tara or Mindy or one of the even one of the new people that are going to be college students, most likely, friends, sitting there going to the screen with will it be a chat where their fingers are all bloodied up and they're like touching the screen and it won't react, it won't respond
and they're just like tapping it like, oh, come on,
like
come on,
the screen.
Dude.
And Ghostface is just closer getting closer, or slowly getting closer. What I'm trying to say, that could be pretty epic. And so, just some more little signage here. This has all been set up at McGill University. It's all over the campus now, and they're filming there for just 4 days total. They wrap on the 31st, and this is why, Jake, I have a theory, because in 4 days you're not going to do a lot of extensive shooting on the campus like we saw in Scream 2. They were there a lot on that campus grounds, on those campus grounds. So I think what we're going to see, man, with just 4 days are a lot of what we're seeing here, a lot of external shots of the university and maybe some chase scenes outside, which I think would be great, and maybe a one or two internal shots. I'm not saying none, but I suspect what we're going to really see is all of the internal classrooms and offices, teachers' lounges, whatever, is going to be built on all of those males' sound stages that they've got, that they're building multiple sets on, we know for sure. So I don't think they're going to be there a lot on the practical location inside, but I think outside we're going to have tons of footage. And you know how you see actors going in a room, they open the door and they walk in, and then all of a sudden the camera's inside and now we're on this set, that kind of stuff. Now, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, 4 days, you can't do a ton in 4 days, like with a whole life. If you're going to spend half the movie there, you're going to be there for a while, right? More than 4 days. Right. So one of the things, Jake, there's one particular sign that I know you know about, we just talked about, and I was just made aware of, that Chris sent me over, it has me very, very excited, because when we found out New York City was the place, even before then we speculated, remember?
Yeah.
And we would talk here and on our live streams, and we say, man, and I mean, just even last week we're talking about it. If you're gonna be in New York, you've got to do one thing. You have to have a subway scene at least once in this movie, right? Where there's a chase or a kill, something. And I have to tell you, I'm most excited about this shot. And I haven't had a chance to even blow it up. Maybe I could do it while we're on the air here. But look at this shot, Jake. That is a subway station entry sign on campus. And I'm telling you, man, this is the first time we've got visual confirmation that they are at least aware of subways in this movie. Now, I don't know, it doesn't mean they're going to do it, but it's promising, right? How do you feel about this, man?
I really want that so badly. And I talked about the logistics about it, like if they were to actually do it, like definitely on like a sound stage. Obviously that is probably like a different building or something. They just put the sign up. But my thinking is like, if they're going to do a subway station like this, you're just teasing us at this point if you don't throw somebody in front of that train, or if Ghostface doesn't use the environment to his advantage. So my thinking is there's definitely going to be a train kill at some point. But then this brings up the question, how do they do that practically? Are they going to actually set up a train and all that? I don't think so. I think they might go the digital route, but the thing about that is Radio Silence has an amazing history with digital effects. Like if you go through all their films, there is not one movie where I'm like, digital effects don't look great. In VHS, dude, their whole segment, like they got like crazy arms sticking out of the wall. It's all digital effects.
Yes.
It looks great. It's some of the best uses of digital effects in any movie. There's a little bit of touch up with some of the kills in Scream 5 too. That's a little digital. Like Wes's death, the knife.
Especially.
It's just a little bit, and it doesn't look bad. So honestly, if they go that route, if I'm gonna trust anyone with digital effects, it's these guys. So I'm down for it. I'm very excited to see what they do. I really hope someone gets thrown in front of a train or something. That would just be so epic. Such a memorable kill from this franchise, I think.
So good, man. Gosh, the possibilities are just endless. And there's one particular individual that I would hate to see it happen to. But man, I'm telling you what, Samara Weaving, my friend.
I love how that's like the most nice, innocent picture of her you could possibly find. She's like,
hi. It's just
gets hit by a train.
Yeah, bam. Yeah, if anyone's going to get plastered in the front of a train or a subway car, it's probably going to be Samara.
Uh-oh. Did you cut out there? Oh God, I think I'm on the stream by myself now. Well, to keep it rolling, because I got nothing here. Miss Samara Weaving, is she going to get hit by a train or not? I mean, that's really the question. I definitely see this character either being an opening kill or possibly even wow, he's really gone. It's the Jake Collective now. Killjoy has taken over. Hey,
I broke my way back.
You broke your way back into
the darkness was calling me. It was pulling me under. Dude, that was crazy, man.
It was too much, too many theories. Dude. It was just too much. Stream couldn't take it.
Well, I mean, speaking of theories, so where do you stand on Samara Weaving? I still believe she's the opening kill, and that's where I'm at. I've not changed my mind. And I know there's other possibilities, but that's where I'm at. Where are you at right now, man? If you had to make a guess.
I feel like there's no way she's not. I don't know if she's going to be a character. You know what I mean? I feel like one way or another, she's either going to be opening kill or like a background surprise killer at the end. I feel like it's got to be one or the other. She's like kind of too obvious to be the killer. You know what I mean? I mean, like, look at that face, man. I mean, she looks like she's about to go and stab somebody, and I mean that in the best way possible. Samara Weaving just like naturally has this like killer look to her, and I love it. She is amazing, an amazing actress. She's great in everything she's in. Trust me, I would have no problem with her being the killer, but also it might be a little obvious just because she's worked with Radio Silence in the past before. She's someone who has played killers in very prominent horror movies. It might be a little obvious. But at the same time, dude, I'm not complaining, man. She would absolutely kill it as a Ghostface killer. But at the same time, if she's the opening kill, I'm also not going to complain. She's in the movie. So there's that.
Bingo. Yes, that's the thing, man. She's in the movie. No matter, and we've been wanting that since 5. I remember we were like, that was one of our casting hopes, was that we would get Samara in 5, and then of course I always know people are going to think I'm being negative. I'm just telling you right now, if they could have hired or gotten Samara in Sam's role instead of Melissa Barrera, I'm sorry, all day long, brother. I'm taking that. If you give me the choice, it's Samara Weaving.
I don't know if I would have wanted Samara, like I would have wanted her to be a lead in a Scream film, but I just don't know if I'd want her to play Sam, just because you'd have that restriction of like what Sam's character is with the mental illness and all that. You'd have to play, like Melissa Barrera is kind of boxed in with that character. She has to play it a certain way. You know what I mean?
But Jake, here's my question. If you have Samara there, if you've casted her in that role, could you have written her differently? Because she could have been, in my mind, dude, look at that. That she could have played in the struggle in a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Unhinged manner. Because Melissa plays it very conservative, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's very, she's talking to Billy and she's seeing him. I get all that. But that's severe. But I'm talking about that unhinged. I never felt Sam was unhinged until she killed Richie, where she was like, there she goes. She's like just. But what I could see, I don't know the answer to this. It may not have changed. I'm just wondering if they had Samara Weaving, who's a formidable actor, like she's got real final girl kind of chops, in my opinion. I wonder if they might have not written her to be a little bit more, almost like Joker, like not in terms of like, you know what I'm talking about, where you're more unhinged. You're more like, woo, really, whoa, she's really like at any moment she could snap, I
Yeah.
never felt that way with Sam. I never felt at all that she was on the edge of snapping or anything like this. So I don't know. Maybe did they write that for Melissa Barrera's abilities, or maybe that was the character, no matter who it would have been. I agree with you. If it would have been like Melissa was written, then it would have been honestly kind of a waste of having Samara in there because that's she's so polar opposite of that.
If you had a final girl character just written a little differently, like not Sam Carpenter, I could 100% see Samara Weaving leading a Scream film. Like, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I just feel like with Sam, it's a tough character to play because nowadays you can't just write someone as being crazy and it's like, oh, that you can't just chalk it up to they have a mental illness because that's just not accurate. It's just not. People are going to look right past that and be like, well, that's kind of ridiculous, maybe even mildly insensitive. So I appreciate her performance, that it's a little more on par with like what it's like to actually deal with like taking drugs to deal with a mental illness, but it does make for at times it's a bit low sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like I need more from this in this scene here, but I understand why she made the choices she did. On the other side of that coin, would it have been more interesting to have a character like Samara Weaving, typical protagonist, like think her character in Ready or Not, as the forefront of the new Scream franchise? I think that's super up to debate. I maybe would have wanted to see that more, honestly. But at the same time, I'm just excited we're getting her at least in a new Scream film. She's gonna kill it. She's gonna be amazing, I think. Whatever her role is in this film. I do hope it's more than an opening kill, but I see your point there. I mean, if they're gonna kill anybody in the opening scene, it's probably gonna, yeah.
It just seems like it would be, and I think she could execute. She could perform. I think back to Drew Barrymore, and again, not saying we're never gonna. I know we're never gonna reach the level of the Casey Becker scene, but I'm telling you, man. And Omar and Jada did good too, but I mean they all did good in the openings. I mean, in my opinion, but my thing is just imagining her in that scene. Look at those devilish eyes, even there. I mean, that's just she has that look about her. I think her performance could be bat blank crazy in the best way possible. And imagine if she's being chased. I'm talking about epic chase scene. And she gets stabbed, she's fighting back, she's bleeding everywhere, she's still fighting. I mean, just like, whoa, we're like, this chick is tough. She is not going down without a fight, I think it could be epic to see. It would be sad to see her leave in 15 minutes, but it would be a great 15 minutes, dude.
It would be an awesome tone setter too.
Yes.
I mean, if like you get some kind of crazy depraved performance from her of like Ghostface going after her, like it's just crazy. She's like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? And then she gets brutally murdered in some kind of horrible way after putting up still a pretty good fight because she's Samara Weaving at the end of the day.
Course.
Come on. Of course she's going to put up a fight. But I just hope that it's, if that's going to be the case, if that's the extent of her role, I hope it's that like one of the best tone setters for one of these movies. It's something a little more vicious and graphic, even crazier than the Scream 5 opening, which was pretty good. It was pretty vicious opening. I loved it. You can even go a little deeper into that though, I think, with a Scream film. Make it even crazier, make it more build the tension a little higher, because if everything they're saying about this film is true, if it's going to be scarier, gorier, way more crazy horror film aggressive, all those things. If it's going to be that way, you got to set that tone early. You got to make a point with Scream 6 saying, "Hey, Scream can get scary. Scream can get really real messy here." That's what I'd want to see from an opening scene for this movie, if they're telling the truth.
I 100% agree. I can't. I'm with you 100% on that, my friend. What's up, Jack? Good to see you here, my friend. All right. Glad you can make it. You guys are awesome. Jen says, I think Craven was just hot for Samara. Jen, come on now. Give me more of an artistic respect than merely that. Come on now. Look, I can tell you what. If anyone's ever seen Ready or Not, I rest my case. Honestly, The Babysitter is such a fun movie. She's an amazing antagonist in that movie. Oh, she's good.
I love the first one. The second one's a bit of a miss for me personally.
It missed on me too. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't think it was terrible, but it was a step down for sure for me. That first one though, I can watch that over and over. It's just a fun movie.
Oh
It
yeah.
kills too, man.
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh.
Oh yeah. Jenna Ortega was great in that sequel, though. Sorry,
She was?
I'm not able to talk about The Babysitter all that much. It's just like, ooh, okay, hey, I like these movies. It's good stuff.
Yeah, they are. We miss you too, Jack. Looking forward to Tuesday, man, for the Craven Stream.
The live scream.
The live scream. Oh, I like that. Oh, maybe I should start calling my stuff live screams. Join me for a live scream.
I titled I actually miswrote it. Like I like wrote the wrong word. I was gonna write like live stream scream or something like that, and I made it the same word. And I'm just like, that's kind of cool.
It is cool. I like the ring. When you said that, I'm like, oh, wait a second. Maybe I need to think about that.
I liked it. I was like, okay, yeah, hell yeah.
What's happening, Eric? The bearded one.
The bearded one.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, man. So, Scream 6, we've got all this stuff going on. So, what's your has your position on Dermot's comments changed any? How do you feel about that, man? Because I'm still going. I'm kind of sticking with right now that he is Kirby's dad. I just don't know. Of course, there's no way to know until it happens, but. Problem I have is if he's Kirby's dad, unless he's a vigilante killer, which I would be down with 100%, then I don't know if he's going to be a killer or not. Because I told you it's one of the three men, the three adult males is going to be the ghost. It's going to be the Debbie Salt guy. So it's either him or maybe he's not. Maybe that's not him. Maybe it's Segara, who's the mastermind, or maybe it's Henry Czerny up there. Maybe he's he's the puppet master, and he's the dean of the college or something, and he's pulling the strings of the cult. So many possibilities, man. I hear a knock at the door, so before you answer, don't forget your answer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome another part of the collectives with us, Knight from the Night Watch Zone.
Yo!
Yo,
Hey,
what's up?
welcome. So Jake, man, so thinking about this, again, I'm sticking with it. One of the three guys. What are your thoughts on Dermot's comments about his daughter is a victim, but I won't say how and what way? And it's the family ties that brings me to the story. He made that family ties connection.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I just got to comment on how good those fries that night are eaten are, though. Oh, my God. Those look amazing, dude.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Dude, I haven't had
Bring
some
for everybody.
I haven't had some waffle fries.
It's been a long day.
It's all good, bro.
Sorry.
No, dude, you're all good, man.
right.
I got to get me some waffle fries now. Yeah, no, talking about this though, I have a feeling, I don't know why. I just like early prediction. I'm just feeling like, yo, what's up? I'm just feeling like for sure Segara is I don't know. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like he's the killer. I think Dermot Mulroney is going to be a massive red herring as well as Henry Czerny. Because like out of those three, I feel like at least one of them has to be the killer. I don't know. Like it's too obvious. You know what I mean? All three of them would play good villains, and I could see all three of them having motives. You have Dermot Mulroney as a cop. I mean, he has access to like a whole bunch of different like weapons, paraphernalia, whatever. That would be a great idea for a killer. You have Josh Segara, who we don't know too many details about his characters, but he has played a villain before in like I believe the CW show. It was Arrow, right?
Arrow,
yeah.
Yep.
And then we also have the Henry Czerny, who is, like we said, possibly playing somebody who has a big role in this college. So could he be pulling strings like here and there, like to elevate his success even more or something crazy like that? Sure. All three of those would be totally valid, interesting killers. I'd be down for it either way. But I have a feeling Dermot Mulroney's character is not only going to be featured a lot in this movie, he was announced rather earlier than most other people in the cast. He's going to have a bigger role, I think, but I feel like he's not going to end up being the killer. Like, I feel like he's actually going to be a good guy in this movie. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you. He mostly plays
Yeah.
good guys in what I've seen him in. So that's just my guess. He was just in this movie called Uma from earlier this year, which I just watched a couple days ago, and he's kind of a good guy in that, kind of. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's kind of just my. I'm going off of like basing this all off of like what they did in the past and where their strengths are as actors too. So I could be completely wrong. Maybe that's a good reason to throw a misdirect at us, though.
Yeah, I will say this. I did see Dermot as in a bad guy role on the TV show Prodigal Son on Fox. He did 2 seasons.
Ooh, okay.
And he was a very, just a very manipulative, kind of very powerful. He played a real powerful businessman, and he did, you had to do it. Anyway, he was the villain. He was the bad guy in the show. I'll put that. I won't give away too much in case anyone wants to watch it. But yeah, he pulled it off well, man. Very believable in that very dark toned kind of attitude and execution. So I could see him. He's really good. He's a good actor. He can do both. So which doesn't help us any because
Right.
at all.
He's a wild card, right? Yeah.
He is a wild card. And it may not, yeah, he absolutely may be the red herring. Sagara could be the actual killer. And again, if Zerny ends up being a mastermind, that could be a real good twist too, because he's the older of the bunch. He's in his mid 60s, and I think he might be a little bit off the radar a tad. But remember, Debbie Salt, I don't know, man. Zerny almost would fit more of that older kind of role, and she wasn't as old as he is, obviously, but by probably 10 years, but not far off. But any of those three could be the puppet master. The one that Stu is recruited and working with, all connected for 7, in some way. Night.
Right.
I like how you slipped that in there.
I gotta slip it in there, my man. I do. What do you think about all this, man? We got Sagara, Dermot, and we got Henry Zerny. I and Jake are convinced one of those at least is behind this. Is a Ghostface killer.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think one of them is behind it. Dermot he's such a fantastic actor and so experienced. I think a lot of people might point to him, but I kind of fall in line with how you guys are looking at it. I think it might be a misdirect for him. Could be wrong about that. I think if they're smart, he's the misdirect. Because I think he can play both sides very, very well as far as innocence, but also intense and possibly the bad guy type of vibe. But I'm really looking forward to see what he does because he also has had a lot to say, and I'm sure you guys have already talked about that stuff. But it's like he's constantly talking about shit, and it's like, all right, Dermot. But of course, maybe that was also part of marketing as well because that stuff it happens with studios. But Zerny though, he's kind of, I don't know, man. He might, there might be something there.
Could be.
He's the one that I'm really on the fence about. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no grasp of what he might do. I do like him as an actor. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff, and but yeah, I don't know. So much stuff is up in air, but one of those three, I think, is definitely pulling the strings, and I'm really hoping that there's at least 2 other, people underneath of them, 2 killers. If we have 2 killers and a mastermind, I'd be okay with that. Originally I said 3 killers, 3 Ghostface killers that are actually out there killing, slashing, and gashing and stuff. But if you have a mastermind, if they have at least 2 Ghostface killers, that would be fine with me. I'd be okay with it.
So what you're really saying is, I want 2 killers and a mastermind. Where's that? Sorry. I need 2 killers and a mastermind. Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Tips are appreciated, by the way. Singing is an additional thing that we do here. So, yeah, heck yeah, man. And Zerny, I would have no problem if Zerny was the mastermind, and he's got a couple of these kids saying, "Hey, I'm the dean of this college. I'll make sure you get straight on through. How about you want to pay more tuition? Here's what you got to go do.
Right.
You got to go kill for me."
Yeah, I mean,
you could find somebody unstable enough to do that. I'm sure.
Yeah, and he's a charismatic enough actor to make it seem believable, just
Hmm.
like how in Scream 5, I was radicalized, it's like
Exactly.
I could see him being the type of person that could, in other words, when you're watching him go through his spiel, there'll be some people watching and saying, I guess I could see how that could happen, so yeah, that'd be fun. There's
Heck,
Stu. All right.
heck yeah, man.
Get it up.
She was radicalized. Get it up,
Yeah.
man. That's
Look at
right.
that guy. Look at him go.
Ooh, look at him. Now, if we want to really do this properly, guys, because Fate's not here, and I know that you're all on the Stu train. So, in the honor of Stu masterminding this thing, let's get it up.
I'm ready, baby!
Jake, you're the master here.
Get up! Get up! Get up! It was fun.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay. Thank you
Needed
for
that.
indulging me on the Stu train for a moment.
Needed some of that energy.
I know, just a little juice of the little Matthew. No, I won't say that. A little bit of Matthew Lillard power. Let's
Little
leave it at
Matthew Lillard juice. Yeah.
And I wasn't gonna say that.
man.
I said
Jake.
it.
You little whippersnapper.
Oh no.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
too bad.
That's,
That's
dude,
too
that's what I
bad.
say. That is. There we go, Mel. Oh my gosh! If I'm running the stream, you're at my mercy. You just never know what's going to happen. All right. So, Scream 6 at night. I don't know if you've seen the pictures yet, man. I know you missed the very, very, very beginning. We were talking about. Let me just show this image to make sure you've seen it. We got the first sign of a subway station night. Look at this.
I know,
Have you
man.
seen this yet?
Yep. It looks
So-
amazing.
Isn't it? Isn't it? So give us your thoughts, man, because you didn't get to weigh in on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, man, everything is set up for this movie to have some amazing scenes, some amazing attack, environments, chase scenes, and we've talked about that previously on episodes. But they've got to use the subway, man.
Yes.
It's almost like sacrilege if they don't. You're in New York. I mean, even Jason Takes Manhattan used it. I mean, come on, man. And they didn't have any money, and they were in frickin' Vancouver. So
Oh
if
my
Scream
gosh.
6 doesn't use the subway, it's going to be a crime, an
It will
absolute
be.
crime. Because I think the other thing I'd love to see in this movie is, when you have situations with the characters, if they're being chased or if there's an attack happening, that they can also use their environment to their advantage in a way, as far as, running and maybe hiding. Like, and I know we always talk about this scene in Scream 2, and maybe that's just destiny, but, with Dewey and Gail and the chase scene, and when Gail was hiding in the booth and all those types of things, I'd love to see some of that, but in the New York setting with places like a subway, places that, there are places where you can hide. And although Ghostface can be more, what's the word I want to use? Tricky, because there's so much going on, but the characters can also utilize those places to their advantage too. And I'd love to see at least one, if not two scenes where we get some of that tension, that back and forth between the attacker and the people being attacked. So I'm hyped up, man. They got to use the subway. If they don't, I'm gonna be so upset. Whippersnapper. I'm gonna be so upset if they don't.
I couldn't agree more, man. I really think they have to, right? Like you can't just tease us like that.
No,
Right.
that's even worse. Like, it'd be better not to have a subway sign. Like, don't even acknowledge there are
Right.
there, right?
Yeah.
They don't exist in this movie.
Yeah, in this universe, New York shut them all down for some reason, and but don't put that sign up. We're gonna see as they're walking by, and we're like, and never go there. No, don't do that. Come on, guys. We need you to do it. And everyone agrees. Everyone agrees there's got to be a chase scene. Just one. I'm not even being greedy. Just one good one is enough. Scratch it off the list. And then somebody throws somebody off of a high-rise building of
Right.
at least 40 floors or higher. You know,
Yeah, I mean, it could change so much for the franchise. It
it
literally
could.
could give the franchise a makeover of sorts. You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't we haven't been able to see those types of things. One thing I really appreciated in 4 was the garage scene. That was a great scene. And
Yeah.
of course it ended up with, a big fall and a death, but it was cool
Hmm.
because I mean, not that the death is cool, but you get what I'm saying. The
Totally.
death scene was cool because everyone was right there to witness it. So it's like, all right, so it's like it's more than just a few characters seeing
Hmm.
Ghostface do things. Same thing with New York. This could be really, really. Could you imagine if there's a group of people, maybe, I don't know, 20 people that are around where a kill happens and how they would react? I think that would be some really good stuff to do. And again, it's just giving this franchise some new life, some freshness.
You know what they would do? They'd all do this. Just
You're
filming
canceled,
it.
bro.
Forget about
You're gonna
911.
get
We're just gonna film
canceled.
it. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Now Chris says, I need to get some pics together of the subway in Montreal to show some of the tunnels they could use. It might be a heartbreaker if they don't include it though. Chris, dude, I would love it if you did that. I would love to show those pictures. And why not, man? Let's just rip the band-aid off. Let's see what we could have. If we don't get it, then we can just mourn over it later. We will, trust me.
It'll be pretty disappointing at this point if we don't get like a bunch of New York stuff. Cause like they've teased
Right?
so much. You know what I mean? They've teased like the Broadway show we might be doing. We might be doing a subway chase scene. They have to at this point. They got to touch on some of the New York stuff, man.
Yes, please, please, guys. Yes, we need more Lillard juice. Yes, that's
Yes.
right.
Stews, if you will.
Oh no.
Oh, we need some more stew sauce.
Stew. Some of Stew's kid sauce. Let's go.
Oh, Jay. Oh, wow.
We're getting real nasty on the stream today.
I see that. You're taking us down there. We're
I
going.
really missed you, Jake. I really.
Yeah, Knight's eating right now, dude. I'm so sorry.
No, no,
There's some
no, no,
stewed
no.
kid sauce on your fries.
David.
I'm sorry. Oh, Jake.
I like how you said, Jake.
Jake. Yes, tentacles, KY, and now Lillard juice. That's where we're at, Jen. That is what's happened.
Wow.
Anything can be discussed on this stream.
No holds
Sometimes. What is it, Jake? And sometimes it gets
Oh, a little sensual even.
barred. Wow.
zoom
With the voice thing. There we go.
night.
Damn.
This is just hashtag
What
stew
was this?
sauce.
What did I come in?
It's getting
dude.
weird.
Oh, look at Polar. What did I trust me. I have no idea. Don't ask me. I don't even know. Okay, we'll try to we'll try to lasso this in here a little bit. Okay, so gosh, what else? What else, guys? Scream 6. There's a lot going on. Real quick. How do we feel about Melissa's comments that
Oh, yeah.
this, that they really miss Nev being in this film, but they feel her presence, and they might actually be seeing her presence right now. But we'll have to wait and see. That's yeah. I still don't think she's there, but I'm telling you guys, I'm leaning. I hate to say it, I'm wavering, guys, but I've heard a thing or two, and that's all I'm gonna say, and it's making me really wonder now. So anyway, either way, then she leads us to this next section of the article interview, where she says how she says I have to be careful what word I use, which I thought that was interesting. She says I have to be careful what word I use. She says, but it just feels scarier, this one. And then Jenna, remember, said about a month ago that this was more bloody and more bloody as she reads the script, and it's the most violent and aggressive, those are her words, Ghostface she's ever seen. And now we have this scarier thing. So what do you guys make of all this? Is this just actors being actors and fluffing up their work, their movie. Or I didn't get that feeling from Jenna. She's so young. I still think she's
Mhm.
a little new to all this.
That's
How
what
do
I
y'all
was gonna
feel
say
about
too.
these things? Knight, why don't you start us off, and then Jake, you finish this up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because these ladies, they're still really new to a lot of all this stuff, and definitely new to big franchises and so forth and so forth. So I think until we're proven wrong, that for me anyways, I'm gonna
Sorry, I just read that.
I'm gonna
Gosh, Eric.
can you imagine if we were doing the Stew trial, the stuff that he'd be putting up underneath of his name
Oh, be out of control.
now that we have this stuff out there? Um,
Oh man.
but yeah, I think until proven otherwise, I'm gonna take them at their word
Yeah.
and believe, at least to them,
Right.
that things seem a lot more intense and aggressive and quote unquote scarier. And I would think that's the direction that everybody would want to go anyways, as far as writing it and obviously how it's directed and so forth, that you'd want more intensity. And I think that would, again, that's part of the thing that could change the path a little bit of Scream, and I think for the better. I think it really could be for the better, especially being in New York. So I believe it.
Yeah. Jake.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think has been so oddly consistent between everybody, like between Jenna's comments, even like some of what Dermot Mulroney said, and now Melissa Barrera. Just everyone's saying this is a crazier, bigger movie. So I guess you got to ask the question, like, are they just fluffing this up? Are they just like, is that what everyone says about horror sequels, or is that like just people's initial reaction, like to reading the script? Is that what's going to be the case here? I don't know. I mean, I really want this to be what they say it's going to be. You know what I mean? A scarier, gorier, bloodier, crazier, whatever kind of film. Of course, like yeah, I'm in. But is that what's going to ring true when we actually walk out of the theaters and we're like, oh my god, that was the bloodiest Scream film ever? I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope it's not just knife kills this time around. That was something I was oddly disappointed by with the last flick.
Yeah.
Knife kill after knife kill after knife kill, which, like, I'm not gonna lie, still a lot of good kills in that movie, but it was just odd. It was just like an odd, like coming from Radio Silence, who just got fresh off of Ready or Not, which was such a
Yes.
all over. Like the kills were amazing in that movie. I loved it. It was super inventive, environmental kills. The nail through the hand. Ugh, God, yeah,
Oh.
right.
Thinking
Ugh.
about that, man.
I'm bringing up a lot of just horrible stuff for you right now, Knights. I'm so sorry, but.
Oh, that's good.
But with that, I was expecting a much bigger punch with Scream 5. Is this going to be that punch that we were expecting in the last film now? This is going to be Radio Silence's much more their movie, too. So are they going to bring a bigger punch? What are they going to do with Scream now that it's kind of theirs? You know what I mean? I'm curious.
Yeah, man. Let's. I am curious too. I'm curious too, and I just hope that Carrie's just like it's getting out of control. It's taking a life of its own now.
Wow.
Get it up in your throat.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. All right. Wow. So.
Jen too, man.
Oh
Go,
man.
go down to Jen one
Oh no.
at
Oh
6:51
no.
or for you.
I haven't seen it
5:51.
yet. Let me see. Oh, is it this one? Jake, are you seeing this? It's a fluffer.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, Jen. There you go.
Wow. Oh.
Polar, you're gonna love Ready or Not. I can guarantee it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, forget everything I just said then.
Oh man.
Just go watch it.
See, that
a
makes
good
me
one.
want to do a watch party for it or something. That really.
Right?
That would be a fun watch party movie.
Yeah. That's a
And
good
it's not gonna.
that's a good example of a modern movie that is kinda you know what I'm saying, Steven. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Mm.
Yes. And speaking of which, as Jake was just saying too. Oh, okay. She's rewatching it. Okay, got it.
Oh, okay.
Is is Jake? I wish it was Jake writing Scream 6. Oh my gosh.
Right?
Dude, is James? Gosh, and Guy. Are they gonna give Radio Silence, or have they? They're less than 2 weeks from wrapping now. Have they given them because we always talk about how, and we all agree on this. When you just said it, Jake, and the chat as agrees, we're ready to see Radio Silence make it their own, make an original Scream, their stamp, right?
Hmm.
And we've all been wanting that. We all still want that. But here's my question: in your gut, and I'm not saying, and we're all optimists at heart. I know we really do hope for the best. We want the best. We're all excited. But I'm asking your opinion, just your straight up, you as a fan opinion, and as a being a content creator, you have a more analytical view because you've watched a lot of material. So, based on what you've seen from James Vanderbilt's writing, Zodiac, Murder Mystery, there's another one that's escaping me, Guy Busick, Ready or Not, and I'm sure there's more. Right? This all coming to my head. Do you guys, Jake? I'll start with you first. Do you believe and five, Scream 5 is a big indicator also potentially, that these two guys are going to put Radio Silence in the position that they can make an original movie? Or are they going to be given a story by which it confines them to more of the formulatic Wes Craven model, which is beautiful? It was a masterpiece stuff. But
Yeah.
Wes is gone, and and so I'm asking your opinion on that. And I mean, and it's not a wrong or wrong answer. It's just your opinion. What do you think? Are they
I
capable of that?
Yes, I'm gonna say yes, just because
Okay.
Guy Busick, don't forget, is the guy that wrote Ready or Not, and
Right.
I love that movie. I think he set them up for a what is now Radio Silence is easily their best movie. It's a very original, very different take on just a straight up slasher with a crazy twist ending, with some awesome stuff along the way, some great character moments, and it's super fast paced and fun. I love that. I love that about that movie. I think it was kind of a weird transition going from that, which is such a like what it's only like 89 minutes. I think it's really quick, and then you're immediately going to Scream, where you kind of got to take your time a little more. You got to develop characters. You got to build up while also developing characters. You got to build this mystery around everybody. It's not a tough thing to do, and you're also throwing another, James Vanderbilt. You're throwing him into the mix as well to work with
Right.
writing. How did like that definitely affected Scream 5. It was a tougher thing to do, I think, than Ready or Not. Now with Scream 6, they've done it once before. They know what they're doing. I feel like yes. I feel like honestly, and that's not even just me being an optimist. I feel like this is going to be a good script. It's going to be something that's just not this. I just don't want something that's exactly the same of what we've seen before. And I feel like these guys have the potential to do it. Even though I do have my doubts, my concerns, and all that, I'm so concerned that they just kind of took the same approach with the last movie for this one. They're just like, hey, let's just watch Scream 2 100 times and kind of just type up a script right after that, see what comes out. I just hope that's not the case. I hope they've done the Ready or Not approach, where it takes influences from all over the place, melds together this absolutely wonderful original kind of slasher film. That's what we need in the Scream franchise. I hope they approach this film less of like a Scream sequel and more like they're just making their own slasher flick with meta horror commentary. That's what I'm hoping at the end of the day the most for Scream 6. That's going to turn out the best product.
Right. And you mentioned something else there, and I'm going to get to you too coming up. I just want to ask you, before we do that, how he's met with James. They had that's the first time that I'm aware of, from IMDb at least, that I can tell, that they've worked together as writers. That was their first time. Now, something about that relationship is that we may not necessarily know anywhere or have been documented, but I'm going off of based on what I see. So James Vanderbilt is his company's Project X, right? That is the production company for Scream 5 and 6. He's the chief creative officer of Project X. So he's the head honcho at the production company. He's also producing the movie. Guy is only a writer. So here's my thing, and the reason I bring this up is, in my mind, that it could possibly mean that this is a 60-40 relationship. In other words, this script, I'm the chief creative officer of the production company. I'm the chief writer, which means, Jake, you could write this killer line idea, this storyline out. If I don't like it, I can veto that and say, no, let's rework that. Let's change that up. He could Weinstein Guy Busick. Because see, Guy Busey didn't have him over his head in Ready or Not. So I'm just wondering, like, what? And I know we're not in the writing room, but I just get the feeling like if it came down to a creative difference, and they've got to have them a bunch because they're both creators, it just happens. I think James is going to win the argument every time because it's his company. He's the producer. Guy's only a writer. He's got no production credit. And that, you know what I'm saying? So how do you think that could affect things is my question.
I agree that that's definitely probably the relationship going on right now. But the other aspect of that is Guy Busick is only there because of Radio Silence, who at the end of the day, they're the people in charge. That's what they're the directors, they're in charge. So I feel like it's maybe a little more fair, but I do agree with you that it's probably the 60-40 relationship when it comes down to the wire of like, how are we going to approach this movie? Guy Busick definitely has his say, but I think James Vanderbilt has the final word. I pretty much agree with you. And I think it's a little more interesting. I guess I'm a little more interested in what Guy Busick would bring to the table just because he's an up and coming writer. He's still got to fight his way to the top. You know what I mean? He's really only done like one other movie besides the Scream stuff now. Yep. So I guess I'm a little more interested in his like writing his work just because he's an up and comer. He's still got to fight to prove all that shit. You know what I mean? James Vanderbilt's been established for a long time now. I mean, he's been writing movies for like you said, you mentioned Zodiac. That's from what, like 95 or something, 96. I can't remember.
It's pretty old, like 97.
Yeah, it's like 20 years.
Yeah. Right. And like that, I just feel like with up and coming writers, I'm always more interested in that than like, no offense to James Vanderbilt. I mean, I think he's a great writer. I actually feel like some of the Amazing Spider-Man movies are underrated. Hot take. But I like his writing. I don't know. I don't hate it, but I'm more interested in what the creativity from Guy Busick, if that makes any sense. Oh, God. And we got ourselves a hater in the chat.
It was going so nice. It's been almost an hour now. With no issues, just harmony. Well, we're about to just take a baseball bat to all that. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stream. The collective will now be intact. Fate decided. Welcome, my friend.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. Dude. At least you're clothed. At least you're not naked like she was. Thank you.
I thought about it.
Good point.
We're trying to grow our audience, trying to get.
Got to do what you got to do, man.
I was like, hey, maybe it'll get us some more subs.
Well, I will tell you this: Knight is being consistent in the tank top, and I know it's helping.
I appreciate
it's helping. So keep it up, man. He's doing it every week. I'm loving
his
it.
effort. And his dedication.
It is dedication.
I'm a team player. I'll say that.
All right, so before we totally go off the rails here, real quick, Knight, I know you've been simmering, man, on this for a little bit. So, and then Fate will bring you up to speed. But Knight, how do you feel about all this? Do you think that James and Guy are going to give Radio Silence that story where they can say, yes, we can break out, we can really have freedom, we're going to push it to the limit? Or do you feel that the script will confine them that because of the limitations that could be there? How do you feel about all that?
I really, if someone is basically saying you got to bet one way or the other, I'm going to bet that they're going to give them the freedom that we need, that we want, I should say, as a fan base. And I can't think of many people, I can't think of anyone that I've talked to or heard talk about this movie that hasn't talked about having something fresh, something new, So they have to be thinking that, man. I mean, we can't be the smartest people of all time. We can't be the only ones thinking that, right? Can we? I mean, so
I hope not.
Steve's like, I don't know. I'm pretty smart. And we are. But I'm just saying, they've got to be thinking, hey, man, we've got to stretch. We got to open up the field, And I think if I was to choose one way or the other, I would say that they're going to give a script. They're going to give something that is going to make us say, wow, they were really reaching out with it, even though they do have some ties to that formula. They do have some ties to Scream 2. They might have some ties to Debbie Salt. Sorry, Jake. But, other than that, but you know what, though? Here's the thing. like if with the setting, the college thing and this and that, and even if at the end it is a Debbie Salt type of vibe, I could deal with all of that if within the movie we get a lot of different things happening within it. I really could deal with it. Like we talked about, I think it was last week when we talked about whether or not um, the whole theater set, will that be in the beginning or at the end? And I think it was Katie who said she thinks it's going to be in the middle, and
Yep.
maybe it will, I mean, again, that's not exactly the example I mean when I say change things up, but at least it's
Mhm.
something, at least it's something, because all of us are sitting here wondering, well, is that going to be the beginning or the end? Because we've seen it like that. So anyways, I would say that I think they are going to try to shoot for the stars. Whether or not they make it, that's a whole nother conversation. But I think they are going to try. They have to. Damn it.
I
For the
would.
stars and land in the clouds.
I mean, oh gosh, I would think they have to as well, man.
Yeah.
I have to believe that. You know.
Yes. I mean, why keep doing the same old thing?
So
You know.
personally,
Uh
I
oh.
think first off, hi everyone. I saw all the people saying hello in the chat. I thank you for your warm
Well, there it is.
There it goes.
That's the world talking to you.
haters. Haters. No, but I think there will be some differences, but I think for the most part, this is going to be the Scream format. Stu definitely will not be in this, but beyond
Full
that,
screen. There you
you
go.
know, he, I mean, full screen, small screen. He'll be on no screen once it's once the film's there. But
Oh no, you're right. He's not coming back in this one. Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
He's in 7.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's in
in
that
7.
one. But okay. Anyway,
He's
so
in 7 for sure.
I think personally that we'll have some creative things, like some things that are new, some things that are different, some things that are fun. I just don't think they're going to take a chance in this trilogy, and I don't think it might not even be because they don't want to. I think it's just because you got to think like what Spyglass paid probably 50 million plus for the
Mhm.
rights to Scream,
Yeah.
and the Scream formula has always worked, and the last Scream 5 film probably broke them even, if that. So they're probably looking at it as, let's get through this trilogy. That's why they tied in the legacy. That's why they tied in, back to the classic 96 and all that stuff, because they need to recoup their money first. Because the last thing you want to do is come out with a new film and you do something completely different and the film does terrible and you're like, darn it, now what? And especially following up Scream 4, however you feel about Scream 4, it didn't have the box
Love it.
office success. So I think they're looking at it as, Scream 4 didn't have box office success. Like, we can't be too different, So how can we be creative? Oh, let's make the pace faster. Let's up the gore. Let's up the brutality a little bit, which we saw in Scream 5. And I think that that's what they're going to continue to do. I think, we'll probably get the same sort of pace. And then, we'll probably get some, like, where I think the creativity will be in like the type of kills, things like that. Like, I don't think it'll be in like the overall movie or direction, because I just think that they're looking at it as like, we need to recoup our asset first, and then after this trilogy we conclude it, then give it a couple year hiatus or whatever, and then do something new. Is just kind of what I'm thinking. Like I said, I could be completely wrong, but I think the evidence is Scream 5. Because if they wanted to do something fresh, why didn't they just do something fresh?
There is some stuff about Scream 5 that's fresh, and that's what I like the most about the film. But I will say, like, the ending of it feels a little too close to home. And by close to home, I mean they're literally in the same home from the original Scream.
Getting closer than that.
But yeah, I do think that I wouldn't want an entire movie that's just loses the Scream formula either. Like, I want things changed, but not everything, because then what is that movie even? Is that even a Scream film then? So if they just change like one or two things here and there, just to make it not feel like, oh, this is just Scream 2 again, then yeah, okay, cool. But you gotta have, like, there are some things that are super important. You know what I mean? There's some things where it's like, you gotta have an opening kill. You gotta have that exposition establish and learning about all your characters, trying to pick little pieces and attributes of your characters. Oh, is that the killer? Is that the killer? Red herring? Maybe not. I don't know. You got to have all those things in a Scream film, but you can also change up, like, it doesn't always have to have a happy ending, for instance. It doesn't always have
Right.
to be two killers. There's so many different things that you can go with to change it up, but I do want it to still stick to some format stuff, I guess.
No,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Oh, what were we gonna say, Fate?
oh no, nothing. I was just gonna kind of follow up on that. Like that's where like I think that there are clearly changes. Like they're in New York, for example, right? Like so I think that there are going to be changes, but I think that they're going to stick with what they did in 5. I'm not saying that it's going to be a direct copy of Scream 2, but I mean there's enough evidence showing that this is going to be very reminiscent of Scream 2.
Yep.
Like and stuff. I just think that I don't like when I say take a risk, do something different, make some changes, whatever. I mean, like, so say we get through this trilogy, like Scream 9, or Scream 8, at that point, whatever it is, Scream 8 at that point, right? Like, I could see them saying, all right, we got our money, we recouped, we're profitable now. Let's switch it up, like, let's tell a new story that has nothing to do with the originals. Let's introduce some new characters, let's switch it up, like, almost like not that I'm saying that they would go this direction, but almost like a new anthology in the Scream saga. Because right now it's just been copy and paste for the last 5 films, and it was. I mean, there were some slight differences, there were some similarities, but for the most part, Scream 5 was Scream 5. Like I think for Scream, you have to maintain, like Jake was saying, you have to maintain like the whodunit element, Ghostface, obviously, sprinkle a little meta in there. Even then, it's like Scream is kind of always just inherently meta, so I feel like you don't really need to overdo that, but you need to have a reveal. I don't think you have to have like a conclusion every film, things like that. But you got to have, like I said, you got to have the opening scene. But like every horror movie has an opening scene, right? Like maybe it's not like a slasher where somebody's getting gutted, but they usually have the opening scene that establishes like what this movie is about, right? If it's a
Right.
demonic movie, some priest walks in the first, 20 seconds of the movie and is like, I will save this child, and then gets brutally slaughtered. And then that sets up the priest that's an alcoholic that, is finding God again. Like that's just how these movies go. Like all of them, whether it's paranormal, whether it's slasher, whether it's whatever, that's usually how these movies go. So I don't see that being different, but like what makes Scream, I think it's just Ghostface, and then like the whodunit, element, and then you do some sort of reveal, So I think
Right.
if you keep those intact, you can pretty much do whatever you want beyond that. And that's what I mean. Like, I want to see change. I just don't think they're going to do that. I don't think we're going to watch this movie and be like, wow, that was such a different Scream film. I think it's going to be like, I watched this 5 other times.
Hmm. Well, hopefully that's not the case. I'll be so bummed out, man.
But isn't it better to go in with that kind of expectation and just have your mind blown
True. Yeah.
than the
Yeah.
other?
There's no doubt. Yeah.
That's what
You
I've been
gotta
saying
go
with
in.
Sydney. Like for all the like as many people like that want Sydney in this movie and stuff like that. Like I always tell people, like, wouldn't you rather go with the expectation she's not in the film,
Right.
and then
And
if
then
she
be
is in the
pleasantly
film,
surprised. Yeah.
yeah, and then if she is in the film, great. Because the problem
Yeah.
is that like you got a lot of people that want Sydney. You see all like the image that came out yesterday where oh, Sydney
Oh,
on
yeah.
that's clearly
not
a
Sydney.
person working on the thing.
Yeah.
Not just that, but they're in sound stages right now. They're not even out. Like that's not a sound stage. That's clearly like a street.
Right. It's a
whatever.
neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood. It's somebody probably testing or setting up the shot or whatever. And, I mean, you can see the headphones even if you don't
Yeah.
zoom in and you got some like decent eyes, you can see the headphones, and they're holding like some camera or something in their hands. Unless Sidney Prescott is like doing some, secret.
She's helping
ops.
Gail.
Yeah,
She's filming
yeah.
the Gail show at night.
Oh my god.
But even then, like I told people, like I put in the thing, and it was funny. I had some people that commented some funny stuff, but I was like, also not just that, like even the clothing attire is not something that Sydney wears. Like she'll wear jackets and stuff, but she's not like. When have you ever seen her in like the high cut, rolled up pants, those types of shoes? Like she's always been very specific in the type of clothing and stuff. Not just that, but the size, the stature, all of that stuff didn't match. And I was just like, yeah. And people were like, how do you know what Nev would wear? And I'm like, I didn't say Nev. They were like, I've gone to a convention and she was wearing stuff. And I was like, I didn't say Nev. I said Sydney. There's a difference. She's playing a character that has a specific aesthetic, like, and that's what they've always maintained. But like that's the thing is like, I think when you go in this movie, it's better to have that expectation rather than be disappointed. Because then the thing is, if you go into the movie and you think like, oh, Sydney, like Sydney's going to be in this movie, and then you go in, you're not even caring what the movie's doing. Like
Right.
when the movie's over, the first thing that comes to your mind and the disappointment that comes to your mind is Sydney isn't in this movie. It sucked. And what if it's the
Mhm.
best Scream movie yet? But
Right.
because you just wanted Sydney in this movie so bad, you're not even giving it a chance. So,
Right. Well,
yeah.
I think that crosses over to most movies. It's just trying to have, an open mind, whether it is about things as far as a character or actor, actress being in the movie or not, whether they do something that's totally different off the rails, or even, I mean, we could push it the other way. And what if this movie is pretty much, that parallel of Scream 2? As we start watching the movie, we can start to see it right in the beginning. I don't want to, even though it's disappointing to me, I agree with you, Fate, because I don't want to sit there in that first 15 minutes and say, God damn it, they're doing Scream 2 again. I'm pissed off and, I zone out. And what if, some way, somehow, it is a really great movie? What if, so forth and so forth. So I agree with you. You have to have an open mind and not have too many expectations because you could be setting yourself up for a lot of disappointment. So I agree with that. It's a good point.
Go into it fair.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta. Same thing with Halloween Ends. I mean, we've had people on both sides of the fence, like hardcore. We've had people that literally are ready to have a friggin', a march in front of the theaters to stop people from watching it because they say it's a bunch of garbage. And then we have some people that are thinking, yeah, this might be the best since '78. So, oh, geez, Jen.
Nice.
So, but you gotta have it. We gotta have an open mind. You gotta have an open mind.
I still think Halloween Ends is gonna suck.
Oh
it.
my
That's why I
god.
was laughing. I was like, this movie's gonna be terrible. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna watch it.
Is
Yeah,
there
I
a
know.
movie coming out soon that you don't think will suck?
No.
No, all of them are gonna suck.
We're
No
gonna
more
start
good
calling you
movies.
Scrooge.
He'd have to
Scrooge
write it
decided.
himself.
Yeah, definitely. No.
So there's definitely open minds in this channel.
Well, if the
Whoa.
reviews for Prey are as good as they seem to be, then Prey probably Prey's got nothing but praise.
I
Like
know.
literally,
I'm
like,
so pumped for
like
that,
they're
dude.
saying that this is
Me
the
too,
best
man.
film in the franchise. That's
I've
pretty
heard
bold.
that.
Yeah.
I've heard
Oh,
that.
okay. Hot take, real quick. I
Yeah.
feel like any Predator sequel has the potential to be the best film in the franchise. Like hot take. Not that I'm saying the original Predator sucks. I'm just saying I think they have potential to make a better movie. I don't know. Can we talk about that for a second? I'm just curious what you guys think about that.
Well, I mean, I'm just wait a minute. Hold on, because the original Predator, man, that was pretty fucking good. I mean,
I love it.
great, I
It's
should
a great
say.
movie. Yeah.
I mean, and you're right. There could be something that's better than it, but I'm gonna tell you what, man. And again, I'm gonna go into Prey with an open mind, but I mean, they have to do some really amazing shit to be better than the original. I've heard that it's as good as anything other than the original, which that is attainable because Predator, although I like some of the movies, well, I like all the movies to a certain degree, but I absolutely love a couple of them, but I can see this being better than 2 through whatever it is, 6. You know what I mean? I could see that. I could easily see that because yeah, those aren't top tier like the original. But who knows? Maybe it could. Maybe, I'd be all for it if it's better than the original.
I hope it. I hope it's just good. I hope it's just a
I
solid
hope it's
film,
just
you
good
know?
too. Like
Me too.
I have my concerns about the movie, but we'll see. I want to go into expectations. How do you guys feel about Pearl? Like,
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Ooh, it looks
'Cause, like-
wicked.
no, it looks great, and I do think it's going to be a great movie. But like, we know what happens in that movie. We know essentially. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things, but we know, like, for those that haven't seen X-Ray, we know what the end result is going to be. So it's like, like how incredible can this movie be?
Well,
Like
that's just like with
it's just a
Orphan.
thought. It's just a thought,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, it's just like with Orphan. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, same thing.
you
I have
know,
the same thought with that. It's just like
What's
any
gonna
any
happen?
any
Yeah.
prequel movie.
right,
Like like yeah, like and even there's some great prequel movies, but it's like what the end result is. So there's not that level of like oh man, like I didn't see that coming. Like you watch
right,
a movie like X, like there's levels of like oh I did not see that coming. Where this,
right, right.
you basically can predict the whole movie before it even happens, just because you basically have an idea and an understanding. So I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm definitely excited for it. I just I've seen a lot of people hyping it up, like reviews and stuff, and people like oh man, this is gonna be the greatest movie ever, and I'm like, is it though? Because we know it's. I'm not saying it's not gonna be a great movie. Like I want to make that clear. Like it might be a fantastic movie, and I believe
Right.
it will be in many ways. It's just like how could you I don't see it being better than X because the whole plot. You know how everything's gonna pan out. But
I
anyway,
don't think it's going to be better than X. I don't think it's going to be
No.
better, but I think it's going to be very enjoyable and just a really cool movie in general. It's just got a great, to me, it's got a great story behind it. I mean, Ty West wrote that in a hotel room when they were quarantining in New Zealand before they could even go into the country. Like, that's so fucking cool to me.
I love stories like that, man.
Yeah.
Like it just
Right.
shows creativity, and it also shows that spontaneous inspiration and stuff like that. I mean, stuff like that is just that's almost like an interesting story in and of itself.
yeah,
You know,
dude, there were
Yeah.
a lot of creatives in quarantine. Like, did you guys see the Bo Burnham stuff?
Yeah,
Like,
that
dude,
was
that's
great.
dude, that's
That was
incredible.
awesome.
Like that dude turned a miserable experience into like some of the greatest artistic, like that literally changed people's lives. Like which is crazy. I mean, literally, like people were talking about how like they were feeling the same way. I mean, there were talks about like people and like watching a whole thing. I remember they did like some documentary or whatever, and they're showing stuff, and like people were saying like, dude, I was in the process of like whating myself, and I watched your thing and it like snapped me out of it. Like something that powerful that can change people's like thoughts in a dark place, I just think it's amazing.
I could
You
talk
know?
about that special all
Dude,
day.
seriously,
Like
it's incredible.
I love it. It's so smart. It's so interesting. I don't know. Oh God.
It's fascinating. It's very well
Yeah.
done. It is. So, but
But with Pearl, another question, I guess, is do you think it's gorier and crazier than X? Because I think so. I feel like it's going to
You
be
think
like
so?
a nutty. Dude, there's a shot in the trailer where a dude's just walking up to the house and he just explodes into a mist of blood. If they're going to show that in the trailer, I can't
Yeah.
even imagine what else is in the film. You know?
good point.
Unless they're committing the sin
yeah.
of putting their best scenes in the trailer, which that we've.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen that, guys? Over and over.
A24 doesn't do that though, man. That's the thing. Like A24 is
not.
pretty good about with their trailers and shit, man. Go back and watch some of the Hereditary marketing. Dude, the marketing
God.
was awful for that movie, but in the best way possible. Like they didn't
Right.
show any the craziest thing they showed in the trailer was the body of the mom like floating up into the tree for it. Like that's the only real crazy thing they showed in like the trailer, teasers, whatever. And the rest of it was just like a total mystery. My mind was blown 30 minutes in. If you've seen, you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah, I could not believe how much of a misdirect the trailers were to Hereditary. Because when I watched it, I was just like, wait a minute, what's going on in the best way? And I think it was fantastic. I don't know if you guys have seen Men, but the trailers for that too was a total. I thought it was going to be something totally different. So I guess what I'm saying is A24, I kind of agree. They seem to have a pretty good handle on how they put together their trailers. You know,
Unless it's a bodies, man. I'm
Well-
sorry. That last one was better. It was
Mhm.
better.
You haven't seen it yet.
I haven't
You don't
seen,
know.
Well, no, I'm talking about in terms of just presentation of period, not just like
Okay.
like
That's
compared
fair.
it to that story. Yeah, and you guys are hitting it more like misdirection, and so I took us in a different direction, but agreed on that. I'm talking about just like I just hope that the scenes that we see are going to be like that as well, where it is misdirected, especially with the who done it. You know,
That movie is a movie that again, I'll see. Looking forward to it. But I really just, uh, I just feel like this is gonna be, I know what you did last summer on Prime Video all over again. It looks so much like it. Like, go watch the trailer for I know what you did last summer on Prime Video, that series, and
Oh
then
gosh.
watch the trailer, and then watch the trailer for Bodies, 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 and tell me it's not nearly identical. Like it is.
Chloe Okuno does not miss. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, but I mean,
Yeah, you got a lot of faith in Chloe Okuno, and I haven't
Yeah,
seen
you
her
do.
work yet, but I'm going basically on the buddy system. I'm like, Jake says Chloe Okuno stuff is good. I'm gonna use the buddy system and say I believe in it too. So
In all
much-
fairness, I will give you this, Fate. Like she was hired on to help rewrite the script, and a bunch of other writers were also hired on to help rewrite the script even after her. So like,
Oh.
it's not necessarily like, oh, it's her original idea, it's her movie. It's not. But I still think it's going to be halfway decent. Is it going to be my favorite horror film of the year? No, it's definitely not going to be my favorite of the year.
because
But
even like
it's going to be good. It's going to be enjoyable, I think.
I hope
even
so.
what Pete Davidson, he was even talking about like this is like he didn't say very high praises for it. He said, what would he say? He said something about like this is like a millennial like movie disaster or something like that.
Oh,
Something weird
shoot.
about that. Like
Oh, no.
this is like this is a
Great.
movie for like millennials. Like
Ah.
everything about it is like about like what they want, and that's exactly what I know what you did last summer on Prime was.
Absolutely, 100%.
It was just full blown.
Mm-hmm.
This is the modern age. Let's take something that people already know about and turn it into a modern age thing.
I
and it
hated
was-
that
and it
show.
was- but it was so bad, even the millennials hated it.
Terrible show.
Like it was so bad, even the people that were the target audience hated it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
I
it's just like
And why that was thought of as a good idea. I mean, it's
I don't understand. Why not make a movie that's for everybody and let
Exactly.
people find like what like great example. Like so I just randomly last night decided to watch the new Candyman again because it was on Amazon Prime. And I was like, let me watch that again. And because the last time I watched it, I was like, this movie kind of sucks. And I watched it again and I went into it like trying to be fair and I really like watched it. And I was like, this movie had a lot of really good things, but they tried to target a very specific thing and they tried to paint this picture that just completely missed the mark and took the whole movie away. Like there are literal moments where like there's literal moments that are just randomly placed where it's like white man is bad. Like I literally just watched it like a couple hours ago, and there's literally a scene where they're literally about something like completely different, and the main actor guy is like, "Well, that's the white man for you," or something like that. And I was like, they were talking about like they're talking about like food or like it didn't even make sense with the story, and I was like, you're trying to get it goes into like Jordan Peele and stuff. I am all for it. Me and Knight talked about this when me and him doing our stream together. Like I said, is there racism in this world? Absolutely. Is there prejudice in this world? Absolutely. Are there issues in this world that need to be addressed? Absolutely.
Yes.
Have films always address those issues? Absolutely. But there's a appropriate way, and then there's a way that just completely does it. And that's why I have to give guys like Jordan Peele credit because he gets his point across with the general audiences rather than eliminating everybody. Because like Candyman, if you're really trying to get that point across, you immediately lose all of the audience you're trying to target that to get that point across. Like the person that's like, I am a racist. You're right. Thanks for that. Like, he's completely gone because the narrative is all about that. And then the people that feel that like that agree with it, it's just so shoved down your throat. It's like, like I can't, like I don't want to, I can't even watch this. This is terrible. There's modern words too woke. Like Jordan Peele is woke in many ways, but he does it in such a beautiful way, such a beautiful formula that he gets the point across without taking you out of the film. It's like, and so yeah, it's just like I don't know. And it goes. The reason I bring that up is because we're talking about like these films targeting a specific audience, targeting a specific ideology or whatever. And it's like just make your movie.
Writing a story.
Yeah, if you want to be
write a good story.
inclusive, fine, be inclusive. That's great. I am all for inclusiveness, but there's like don't just be inclusive just to be inclusive and be like, look what we did.
Right.
Hey, this movie is 95% African American, or this movie has like one Asian chick, or and it
Hmm.
just like, make your movie. Who is the best character? Who is the best actress? You have this character. Who is the best portrayal? Obviously, if it's written for a Latina or something like that, then fine, give it to a Latina. But who's the best for that? Don't just give it to somebody because, like, oh, this person is a known person. Like, who's the best? Um,
Right.
yeah, like Dane Cook. I was watching his Impulsive. He was on Impulsive, the podcast with Jake Paul or Logan Paul, and he was talking about a lot of that stuff. And he was talking about, like, because he was actually the one that did the casting and stuff for, like, what, Employee of the Month and stuff like that. And he
Hmm.
asked them, like, they were like, like, what was it like working with Jessica Alba, as a guy, like, hey. And he was like, honestly, it had nothing to do with that. She was just the perfect fit. Like, she was obviously, it's a movie. You want somebody that's aesthetically pleasing. But he was like, she came in and read the script and saw the slapstick comedy. And she was like, I'm all for that. And she's like, there were other actresses and stuff that may have been, better suited if you're just looking for that, but they didn't want to do the slapstick stuff. So that's my thing. Is like, just make your movie, make the movie the
I
best
agree.
you can. Don't worry about all the other stuff. And that's my concern with
Hmm.
bodies, bodies, bodies. I think that this
Right.
is gonna be a woke mess. But
Hmm.
I'm keeping my expectations low and just hoping maybe it'll exceed them. But I'm not expecting it to be anything more than a meh movie. I think this might be A24's, arguably. Obviously, I haven't seen all their movies, but generally speaking, they usually hit pretty good. And I
Hmm.
think this could be their first miss. If it's not done really well, this might be one we all say, that's their first dud. We got one.
They got a few bad horror movies,
Yeah.
honestly.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I love a lot of their movies, but they have some big misses for me at least.
how are you excited for 99?
99.
VHS 99, right?
Oh yes. Oh hell yes, I'm excited. Dude, I
Hey.
thought okay. Did not think it was
I-
coming out this year. Did not think at all it was going to come out this year. But oh no, it's coming out October 20th. With that news, my head like exploded for a second. It was insane. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be great. I just rewatched VHS 94 last night, and I'm just like, I can't believe we got another one of these in like 3 months. Holy shit! Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I
Hell
saw
yeah.
that yesterday.
Who do you think will be the new Ratma?
Oh my god,
You
dude!
think they'll have a new one?
I just want a reference. That's all I want. I just want a Ratma reference. That's fine. In the a poster in the background or something. I'll take it, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, dang.
All right.
Well, guys, I think it's about that time, gentlemen. Knight, I know you've got something that, real quick here, because Jace got a stream coming up. Knight,
Yeah.
tell us you got something coming up, man. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, on Sunday we're going to be doing, which is a little bit different. We're going to be doing a watch party series of Creep Show the series, which I'm really excited about because I've only seen the first episode and I can't believe that, but it is what it is. And I've been wanting to finish it up. It's got 2 seasons, I believe, and so we're going to be doing that as a watch party with um, channel members starting on Sunday. It'll be every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it's going to be fun. And we're going to have, special things we're going to do. We're going to do some other things too as far as what we watch. But the main event is Creep Show. We'll have some special guests, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
That's all. How many episodes? I see down here 12 tales. So it's
Yeah,
going to be 12 weeks it's
Mhm.
running.
Yep.
Nice.
That's the idea. That's the idea.
And it's
So,
going to be
yeah.
one episode per Sunday, or are you going to do like 2 or 1?
I think this Sunday we're going to do one because I want to kind of just start because we're all obviously going to be starting it out and see how it goes and things like that. But we might do 2 because the episodes I think
Yeah.
are like 50 minutes long.
Oh,
If I'm
yeah.
not mistaken. So we probably will go to 2 after this Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds fun. So, guys, if you're out there,
Yeah.
look, if you're not a channel member over at the Night Watch Zone at the Jason Bourne level or higher, what are you doing, Fate? Tell
What
them,
are
Fate.
you doing? Come on! Yeah!
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey!
So, guys, get that done. Get over there to the Night Watch Zone. Links in the description below for all of our channels, by the way. And you can go to his channel and hit join, and boom, you'll be there on Sunday for the private
Yeah,
party.
baby.
Jake, I know you got to run super quick. What would you like to share? Any quick update on the movie? Right hand.
We're basically done. I mean, we just got a couple more days of shooting, and that's it. The other thing I'll say is I'll have a big update video for my higher level patrons sometime real soon. I got a video coming out today for everybody, but then I got a big behind the scenes video coming out probably like sometime next week, which I'm really excited for. I can't wait to put that out. Also, live stream in like 5 minutes. Come check out. Come say hey. Come say hello. Yeah.
Yeah. And Fate, buddy, what's going on, man, in your world? I know as it stands, continues to kill it. I see you up there with like 300 or 500 people in your live streams. I'm like, look at you go, man.
Dude, it is. It's crazy how many people I get in those live streams. Like even like late night streams, where you think like there's like 30 people. Like I did like a really late one, and I still had like 170 people. Like I was
Wow.
like, damn. Like, yeah, but like, yeah. Whenever I do live streams, I want to start getting more consistent. I want to start streaming probably next month because I have a lot going on right now. But it's starting to I'm starting to get time slots. So if I can kind of work it around it, I'll start streaming on Fate Decided again, and then on the sports channels. I just got to work it out one way or another. So
Yeah. Okay.
should be soon.
Should be good. And last thing I've got, guys, for me is I've got starting on this month, the month of August, I am going to be celebrating Wes Craven's life, his career. I'm going to do 5 watch parties in August, all Wes Craven movies, and I'm going to have at least 3 dedicated live streams just talking about his career with multiple guests. And it starts this Tuesday on this August the 2nd, which is his date of birth. And I'm gonna have the Night Watch Zone. I'm gonna have Jack Stannis on, and I've got another guest. And my gosh, my mind is blanking. I feel terrible. Carrie Crave Cinema. There it is. Pull it out at the last second. Are all gonna be joining me Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. on my channel for a Wes Craven celebration. We're gonna talk about our favorite moments, movies, just celebrate his life. I'm gonna have some special clips from interview segments from Wes. It's going to be a really great night. So come help us celebrate his birthday, his life, starting Tuesday night at 9:30 Central. And that's all I got for now. All right, Nat, you want to take us out, buddy?
All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us in the live chat. Please give us a like, leave us a comment, share us out. You know what's going on, how we do this thing. You guys are professionals now, and we will catch you guys on Monday for Q&A Monday. The collective has spoken. Peace.
Bye, guys. Y'all take care.
See ya.